Well, at first all I did was just put the links up to my columns, and then I just mostly read things, and then I started to put up links of stories that I found interesting or retweeting and so on, and the following just started building up, and so and I just really ignored it for a while, didn't really think much of it, and then I think I got to about, I can't remember, it was some number, it might have been 1,000 or something, and I thought, oh, this is interesting, I'm getting these followers without doing much. I wonder what would happen if I actually started working it. So as an experiment, I started working it to see how many followers I could get, and then I think I got up to 10,000 or like 9,000, and then I thought, well, now I'll just really pull all stops out. And for instance, if I'm writing a column and I'm just interested in testing the waters, so quite often I'll just throw out a couple of lines and see what comes back, and you can get some really clever and interesting feedback from people, or you can figure out that it's a pretty tired line, so don't use that so much. And then other ways, pretty much every time I write a column, I'll have a line up, a column up in TweetDeck of the topic, and so that will quite often throw up stories or people or responses that I wouldn't find necessarily on Google. And just block. I mean, that's been my philosophy from very early on. I think it was Carolyn Overington who first told me about it. She just said, if someone is horrible, just block them straight away. So you just block and move on, and that really irritates them. I mean, it's really the best way of treating someone who is like that, because they follow you. Obviously they want to read your content. By blocking them, they can't. So they very quickly either shape up or ship out. So it's hard to separate yourself from the organisation, because that's why I'm there, and I guess that's the basis on which I'm working. So but what it does, I guess, is it gives you more immediacy, and so now, because we're in such a competitive environment and everything is 24/7, it's quite empowering, because you're there, obviously. So in the Blue Room the other night, when Julie Gillard and Wayne Swan and Kevin Rudd and Albanese came in there, it was on television live on Sky and elsewhere, I presume, but we were tweeting, so it actually gave the Telegraph, with photographs and so on, it gave us that sort of television presence. And I mean, when we were at the budget earlier in the year, we all started using a new app called Tout. I mean, the company asked us to do that, and so we were doing videos on the bus, and sort of behind the scenes videos, and things that actually mean that we are now, as a newspaper, we are now creating our own video content as journalists out in the field. So it's Twitter in video, and it means that we are bypassing the sort of middleman, which is the television stations, who they take our content and then they sort of channel it through their newsreaders to the people, and there's that lag time, and it also means that the Daily Telegraph doesn't really get the benefit of that. So the whole news business is changing, and as a practitioner, I find it quite exciting and quite empowering, rather than we are the print component, and we come out the next day and everybody else feeds off us and gets the benefit of our sort of intellectual property. Now we're doing it in real time to our own following. Yeah, there is, and I block people immediately. Occasionally I sort of toy between telling them to back off or blocking them, and I decide to block them, because if you tell them, then you're drawing attention to what they're saying. But what I find unacceptable is these sort of dirty rumours that people on Twitter like to spread, and about politicians. And I know they're not true. If they were true, we would have alluded to them. They're not true, and anyway, even if they were true, so what? Just someone who someone is sleeping with in Canberra is really, unless it has some direct relevance to the way they run the country, is just not our business. We're not scandal sheets.